The one thing we know that was a big story was kind of a question mark about two potential visitors, and both of them made their way up. The number 1 and number 3 player in the 2025 class, David Sanders, offensive lineman from Providence Day. You know that high school. He's a teammate of Jaden Davis and Shannon Goodwin. And, of course, quarterback Bryce Underwood. So Sanders, right now, we just know he made the trip. He's been up there before. Going to keep an eye on him, obviously, moving forward. You'd think having Davis teammates going to be an advantage there. Underwood was a question mark coming into this weekend. He did spend the first couple days at LSU and made the trip and got up here for the Sunday barbecue.
Yeah. I think that trip pretty much legitimizes what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. It's kind of a proof is in the pudding type of thing. It's like, hey, guys, this is what we're trying to say. Like, interest here is legitimate. Going from a 2-day trip down to Louisiana to coming back and then going to Ann Arbor, not just going home and relaxing. The kid
immediately going to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, immediately basically got off the plane and went to Ann Arbor. So, again, I think that speaks volumes as to where Michigan is in this race. And again, we said last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, that we think Michigan's right at the top. I mean, what more proof do you need right now that Michigan is battling LSU for top dog in this recruitment? And they very well may be top dog. A lot of people that we've been talking to are kind of like, hey, man, things are going in the right direction here between, Bryce and Michigan. And he's Kirk Campbell's been doing an excellent job. Just the fact that, he's built up that relationship where a kid like Bryce can, get off the plane, come to Michigan, stay for a little bit, and then go home. I think that kind of speaks volumes about where Michigan is and the job they've done to get back into this thing. And I think they're right in the thick of it. Maybe I would say probably they're top 2, and I don't think they're number 2. So, obviously it's going to be a battle towards the end. LSU is going to, throw everything they have. It's clear that he's number 1 on their board for 25. And I think, they're going to throw everything they have at it. I do think Alabama's getting a look, but I don't get the sense that they're as heavily involved as Michigan and LSU are going to be. So, I'm not gonna say, Underwood is gonna absolutely commit sooner rather than later. There's still a lot of things that got to play out, but if we're talking about that January 6th commitment date being locked in, which it may or may not be, you got to like where Michigan sits right now if that commitment date holds. And, even if it doesn't hold, I think Michigan just needs to continue what they're doing, because obviously whatever they're doing with Underwood is working. And I think the big thing is connecting with his family as well, on top of just Bryce too, because Bryce strikes me as the kid that doesn't really enjoy the process. Not the type of kid that will like soak up the limelight. I mean, he deserves the limelight. I mean, the kid is very, very good, elite, but he's not the type of kid that's just going to be, soaking it all up. I mean, you're talking about a 2025 recruit wanting to commit in January. I mean, that kind of says pretty much what you need to know right there, is that the kid kind of just wants to get it done. And I don't necessarily blame him. So we'll see.
Well, and he could want to get it done sooner, and he's putting it towards the end of his football season because he wants to focus on football. Kind of a similar thing happened with Jaden Davis as well. I thought Bama was going to be a bigger part of the picture early on, especially when he got that offer. But I'm with you. It does feel like LSU versus Michigan right now. I think Michigan has done what they need to do in terms of fixing that family vibe and the comfortability, and him being able to, I mean, like you said, it's like him stopping by home already. He's already kind of got that vibe that he can just show up. We've seen it with multiple stop by visits already. And now I think in season, what happens on the field could have an impact. And then they're going to have to start getting into the, like, here's what our plan is for you. Right. Because, I had folks asking me like, hey, are you worried about him taking this visit? And I had 2 reasons I wasn't. One, the plan was still for him to potentially come back for the barbecue, right? He doesn't need to hang around for all 3 days like the other kids do because he lives 20 minutes away, right? Yeah. These guys are making the trip. They need to get the most of it. He didn't have to do that. So him coming Sunday wasn't a big deal to me. And 2, I'm still saying the same thing. he deserves to take these visits.
Right.
He should take them, right? Because his opportunity far exceeds his backyard. So as much as Michigan checks all these boxes and keeps checking boxes, frankly, like opportunities like this, like him showing up for the barbecue, like this stuff keeps happening. He wants to know he didn't pick Michigan just because it was Michigan in his backyard. He wants to make sure he explored, and that's all he's doing. So, but yeah, I mean, we talk about this almost every week now because there's some little nugget. Kirk Campbell, great job. They've alleviated a lot of the issues that were early on. Bryce obviously feels really, really comfortable with Michigan, and now it's just a matter of continuing to build the relationship and button up a couple things and hopefully get that done heading into January or even sooner. We'll have to see.